evening, everyone. Welcome back to Pageant Mag Philippines live sessions. Yours truly, once again, Francois is your pageant correspondent. So, once again, guys, I'll be alone for tonight's session. And we are live simultaneously on Facebook and on YouTube channel. So, if you are new to our YouTube channel, please do subscribe and click the bell notification. And of course, follow and like our Facebook page for more pageant updates. So, and if you are also on Instagram, please do follow us on Instagram and TikTok. So, if you have any questions as well later for our guest tonight, please don't hesitate as well to drop your questions down below at the comment section. All right. So, I believe that you are all um excited to meet our guest for tonight. So definitely, I'll be introducing her to you now. So our esteemed guest for tonight is another Miss World Philippines 2021 candidate hailing from Himamaylan City, Negros. She is a 21-year-old lass and was born in France. Wow, to a French father and a Filipina mother. She can speak French, bonjour, Tagalog, good morning, magandang umaga pala, or magandang araw, o, di ba? And English, good day. Thus, she is currently a French tutor with an economics and modern languages degree. She also loves singing, dancing, and playing the guitar and piano. Now, guys, please welcome our tonight's guest with a virtual applause. Give it up for Himamaylan City Negros Pride, Gwendolyn Furnoil.
Hello
Hello.
everyone. My name is Gwendolyn Furnoil, representing Himamaylan City, and I'm really excited to be here on this live. I was waiting for weeks, because the other girls were before me, and I was really excited for this to happen.
Oh, really? So, oh,
Yes.
that's so nice to hear. And you know what? I feel very grateful as well and honored to have you tonight. So, um, hmm. And how are you doing, by the way? Bonjour.
Bonjour, Francois. Actually, I thought at first you were French because your name,
Really?
Francois, is I read
Mhm.
it in my head like a French way with a French accent. So Francois.
Francois, yeah.
Yes.
There were so many people, especially the girls before you. They would keep on asking how to pronounce my name properly. And yeah, actually, to be honest, they used to pronounce this name as Francois.
I see.
Up until they well I just told them that it should be pronounced Francois because it's basically a French name for Francis. So that's the only the time that they realize that it's really pronounced as Francois.
Francois. It's a very good name, very French name. Very lucky to have that name.
Thank you so much.
No
You as well,
problem.
you have a very good name as well.
Thank you. I'm not used to my full name, Gwendoline. It's very
Mhm,
French. My father chose it because it means
mhm,
holy. It means, very pure. And that's what he wanted me
mhm,
to grow up as someone who could, be really kind to others and to always give a
mhm.
helping hand.
Where did you live in France, by the way?
I live in Lyon in France and I would
Oh,
always visit
Lyon.
other countries. Yes,
Mhm,
Lyon. I love Lyon.
mhm. So I think there's actually one place in Lyon that I really wanted to visit. Hopefully, when I get a chance to visit France. Mhm.
Of course. I know
Yeah,
lots of people there. They can be your tour guide.
actually, the places that I really have in mind to visit in France, not in Paris, but of course, but Lyon and Normandy. Those are the places
Oh,
that, yeah.
good choices. Very good choices. Hmm.
Thank you. It's just like there's something in the places that
Hmm.
that I just feel very inviting.
Yes, it's a very open place, very diverse place with people coming from all
Mhm.
over the world. So it's very open to foreigners and tourists. So it's
Yeah.
perfect.
All right. So we've been talking about your place. So, um, Gwen, I believe that the introduction that I've made for you a while back, or that I have said a while back, is not just enough for us to get to know you so well. Can you
Mm-hmm.
tell us more about yourself aside from the information that I've already mentioned in the intro?
So, yes, my name is Gwendolyn Furnoil, as you all know, and my
Mhm.
mother is, of course, from Negros, which is why it's very close to my heart. I'm representing Himamaylan City, and they were so kind to really support me on this journey, especially as it's my first pageant. They really believe in me and
Mhm.
they give me their full support. So I'm really ecstatic about that. I moved from a lot of countries, so I was very grateful to see a lot of diversity growing up from my father's side, which was the French
Mhm.
side, to my mother's Filipino side, about being
Mhm.
family orientated, really
Mhm.
loving each other through food. I love Filipino culture because they always invite each other, even strangers, and they always
Mhm.
offer them food. They would never let them leave their house with an empty stomach, which is amazing for me. I,
Mhm.
I think that's so kind. That's such a kind gesture. So seeing all these different cultures being so different and unique really inspired me to want to know more about the world. So that's one of the reasons I joined Miss World, because I'm very curious to find out what's my capabilities, what I can offer, and especially
Mhm.
children. They've inspired me really to push myself to the hardest. So yes.
Wow. Thank you so much for that information. But you mentioned a while ago, if I heard it correctly, that this is just your first time to be joining a pageant. So, who inspired you, or who influenced you, or if not, who eventually invited you to, or if it's not invited, somehow encouraged you to join a pageant, or to do the pageantry?
Well, actually, I would say it was my mother, because she's very close to the Advocacy URDA, which I always support on my pages,
Mhm.
on my social media. URDA focuses on bringing street children back into education,
Mhm.
especially, of course, for their future. It's very important for them to be able to form their dreams. And in a way, I joined Miss World because I believe it's an excellent platform to do that, to develop talents, to
Oh, nagkat si nagkat si Gwen. Feeling ko nag-lag sa kanya. Hintayin natin siya sandali lang. Okay. Sandali lang.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Hello.
Yes, we're back.
Are you there, Francois? What happened? It just
Yeah.
went blank my phone.
Well, I think your internet was lagging, so that is why.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
okay. Sorry about that. I was gone. I thought I was speaking and then it just went blank.
Or it could be perhaps your phone is updating, so
Oh,
the
maybe because it's iPhone, it updates a lot. Yes.
yes, that could
Okay.
be possible. All right, there
Okay.
you go. Let's go back to what we were talking a while ago. So we thank you so much, guys, for staying.
Thank you,
So
guys. Sorry about that.
naglag lang yung ano niya kanina. All right. So
Hi,
thank you so
Mark.
much,
Hi,
Mackie
Dad.
Santos. Yeah. Oh, is he your dad? Hi,
Yes,
sir.
Siri Furnoil.
Yeah, hi, sir. Cheer
Siri.
for
Hi,
for
Papa.
Noel. Ayan. Cheer for Noel. Yeah, there
Hello.
you go. So, yep. We were mentioning you were mentioning a while ago the reason of joining Miss World Philippines.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
so it's really it's an excellent platform for me to try and reach out to more people about my advocacy, which is bringing street children to where it matters, into education. Because I
Mm-hmm.
believe education is the most important thing. To educate a man, to educate a child is to save a man. And it's very close to my heart, especially with my mother. I used to go to the Philippines every year with her, and we would always visit the Tondo, the places that URDA have, like their offices,
Mm-hmm.
and I would be so amazed and inspired by all the hard work that people put. They don't have to do that. It's
Mm-hmm.
not necessary, but they believe in the children. They believe that
Mm-hmm.
they are the future, that we can do so much better for them because they're the most marginalized people in society, especially in the
Yeah,
Philippines. So that's one
that's
of the
right.
reasons why I was very inspired to join Miss World.
Oh, wow. Whew. So, are we seeing another Miss World from the Philippines this time? All right.
Hopefully.
So, all right. Before we talk about your advocacy, Gwen, let's talk about your working experience. So, what are you
Mhm.
doing here in the Philippines since you moved into the Philippines like 3 years ago? 3 years ago, just like what you mentioned.
Yes, that's right. Actually, Francois, I was very independent from the age of around
Mm-hmm.
17, 18. I
Mm-hmm.
started working. So after
Mm-hmm.
school, I would run straight to work. I was a waitress and receptionist, and I would work until like midnight, 1 in the morning, because I was very, dedicated to earn my own money. And my father and
Mm-hmm.
my mother knows that, also my brothers, that I would never be home. I would always be very hardworking. I wanted to earn my own money and try and do something for myself because I know I'm capable of so many things. So that's
Mm-hmm.
why I decided to go to the Philippines to reach my dreams. And I'm really grateful for my family, for all my supporters who have really pushed me, especially in the pageant. They've been there with me since day one. And I'm really grateful for them. So being independent, it's taught me a lot of responsibilities, and good and bad ones. But in the end, of course, you have to learn how to be independent and strong for yourself.
That's
So that's
right.
what
Mm-hmm.
matters. Yes.
What made you decide to move into the Philippines, despite that France is one of the best countries in the world,
Well, of course, France is an
economically
amazing
wise?
country.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I love the French culture, but I really
Mm-hmm.
wanted to know my other side. I felt like there was something missing. I felt like I didn't know enough about myself. So when
Mm-hmm.
I went to the Philippines, it really opened up a lot of opportunities, a lot of culture that I never seen before. Filipinos are so kind. They're one of the kindest people I've ever met in my life. They're always willing to give a hand, and I think that's amazing. That's why I plan to stay in the Philippines and really, really try and reflect and contribute to what's good, to what matters, especially my advocacy.
Well, So since you have a Filipino mother and you have a French father, um,
Yes.
what characteristic or yeah, what characteristic or quality that you have somehow that you have from your Filipino descent, and what characteristic do
Mhm.
you have from the French as well?
Well, my mother and my father are very different. My
Yeah.
father is very. He always lets me do what's right because he knows I can learn from my mistakes. Whatever decision I make, that's my decision. So he's always supporting me, as well as my mother. But my mother is, maybe she might get mad at me if I say that. She's a perfectionist, which in a way is not a good or bad thing, but she knows I can do so much. That's why she always
Mm-hmm.
wants to perfect every little details. And I love her so much for that because she really strives me to be the best version of myself. And without her, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be, joining Miss World because if she didn't believe in me, it's like what is there to believe in? Because she's my mother, she's my role model. And
Mm-hmm.
without her, I wouldn't have found my advocacy Erda. So all in all, it's all about because of my parents, you know, their dedication, their motivation. That's really what pushed me to be who I am today.
Oh, see how so sweet, di ba?
Yes.
And actually, we actually have one Miss World Philippines, French Filipina as well. So
Mm-hmm.
her name was Gwen as well, Gwen Roe. I believe that you know her,
Yes, I know her.
and you have the same name. Do you think that you could have the same fortune for in Miss World as please?
Hopefully, I think, but of course, every woman is different. But if there's,
Yeah.
there was a Gwendolyn already, I think, I could try and take over that legacy, which would be amazing.
That's so cute. And how did you land to your job, your current job now? That yeah, aside from you speak French as your first language, right? As your
Mm-hmm.
mother tongue. So,
Yes.
how did you land to that job? I believe that translators really earning a lot in
At
the Philippines.
first, yeah, in the Philippines, at first it was a bit difficult to try and go into
Mm-mm.
the work field. I was really trying, tutoring. Some of my students are here watching actually, and my friends who know I am a tutor, like Mark. I tutor a lot of people one on one before COVID, but right
Mm-mm.
now it's more difficult. It's mostly online, but it helps me to be flexible with my times, especially with Miss World. So nowadays I have around one lesson a day, sometimes no lesson, but it really keeps me motivated to educate others, which is what really matters. I wouldn't call myself a teacher. I would say I'm an advocate for things that matter, especially education. And if you
Mm-mm.
can learn a language, then do so. You have the opportunity to learn a language. So what's stopping you from learning?
I definitely love to learn a language.
Yes, imagine you can speak French, you can go to France and then just try and order everything you want in the restaurant. That would be amazing.
Well, to be honest, Gwen, I already had 6 months of French. Was it 6 months or 4 months French? French. It's like a French school.
Mm-hmm.
We were just taught on basic French words or French language rather. So
I see.
and
Where was the school in Philippines?
yes, here in the Philippines, it
Yeah,
was just
but I
in
think
our
6 months.
community. Yeah.
Yeah, 6 months might be enough for some people, but some people it might take them longer. So with language, it's all about staying consistent in learning, so you won't forget and
Yes.
motivate.
What basically happens that we only meet once a week, so it wasn't really that very intensive because that should be in
Mm,
preparation for our for something else rather. And it just so happened that it was very short. It was cut short, so we weren't able to continue. That is why I had some um, yeah, I had some words. I have some French words that I can still remember, like bonjour,
Mm,
au
yes, bonsoir.
revoir,
Oui, parfait. Good. At least you have
bonsoir.
still have some words.
Yes, like
Yeah.
je t'aime.
Oui, très bien. Yes. Those are the words
Oui,
you need
yeah,
to know at
Dorian,
yes.
yeah. So I still remember those simple words like très bien, something like that.
Very good. Parfait. I think you can still learn. You have a lot of time. And as long as you
And
remember it, because, it's very good.
I think one thing that could really help someone to speak or to learn better is when you really speak in a day to day. So
Mm.
at least everyday practice with the real French speakers with
Yes,
with a
that's
mother
right.
tongue
Yeah, it's very
with a
important.
mother tongue.
Yeah, it's very important to immerse yourself in the culture with the people to really try and progress. Yes.
Yeah, that's why. Hmm. I hope I could be one of your students for free.
Yes, of course, of course. I would love to teach, no matter how much I get paid. I enjoy it, and that's what matters. I really enjoy teaching. So yeah, I would love to teach you French.
hopefully, hopefully, Gwen, and hopefully to meet you very very soon as well. Okay,
Yes.
so according to Maggie Santos, I just drank French vanilla coffee. It will help you speak French. No, not
Does
really.
it? Then
Not
everyone, you should all learn
really.
French right
Mhm,
now.
mm-mm. All right.
It might help.
Just like what I have mentioned earlier, Gwen, we'll be having somehow um, a more deepening or an in-depth getting to know you. So that's through
Mm-hmm.
our game. Have you ever had? Okay.
Okay.
Are you
Yes,
ready
let's
with
start.
this? I believe you're very
Yes.
familiar of this. Okay.
Yes, I'm
So
ready.
okay, let's start. So have you ever had worn an oversized or undersized pair of shoes?
Of course, yes.
Why?
So, it was, when you order online, you
Mm-hmm.
don't know the size, you don't know if the sizing is right, especially if it's from a different country. I always, I ordered from a Chinese, I think, store, and the size was so small, but I didn't have a choice because the shoes were so nice and it matched with my outfit, and I had to be uncomfortable the whole day. But I think, it's worth it if you look good. Beauty is pain sometimes. So, yeah, that's my experience.
Yeah, that's what we call here in the Philippines as tiis ganda.
Yeah, you have to really,
Uh,
take
have
the
you ever
pain.
heard of that? Tiis ganda.
Yeah, I've heard of it before. Yes.
Hmm. Okay, what about have you ever had snuck out or sneaked out from home?
Of course, especially in my teenage days in England, I would always sneak out to go, to go out with my friends. Even if I was allowed, I would still sneak out. Maybe it just gave me like a thrill, or like, it made me feel like a real teenager. So
Hmm.
I was quite naughty as a teenager.
Wait, were you with somebody else in England?
Of course, I'm living with my parents. They're still living in England right
Mm,
now. So I'm the only one
okay.
who's in the Philippines, yes. But I've got some tita
Oh,
and tito here, so yes,
oh,
that's why
I
I'm
see, I see.
staying.
I thought they are also in France.
My dad is in Belgium. He's working there currently, and my
Mm-mm.
brothers and father are in England.
Oh, I
My
see.
brothers and mother, yeah. Mark
Oh,
always.
so they're in England right now.
Yes, they're in
Okay.
England right now.
How about have you ever had wished to be a boy? Have you ever wished
Yes,
to be
of
a boy?
course, Francois. Sometimes
Why?
I just wake up and I'm like, boys don't have to wear makeup. They don't have to take care of their skin or wear, nice clothes. They can just wear joggers or whatever, and they don't have to fit into, these standards as much. So I think boys have
Mhm.
it a bit easier. They don't have to go to,
Uh,
the woman time of the month. So
uh,
sometimes it's, easier
like
to
the
be a
monthly
boy, especially
period.
when I'm having a bad day. Yes, of course. Especially when you have events, it's so uncomfortable. And I think it's something that's not talked about, especially in the Philippines. It's like taboo subject.
Yeah.
But being a boy, I guess, yeah, it's easier. But I would never change who I am. I think I'm really happy with who I am right now.
That's great.
Yes.
What about, have you ever had a crush on your instructor, professor, or even a teacher back in high school?
Um, in high school, yeah, I did. Especially the sports teachers. They're very
Yes.
sporty. I think as a young girl, I think all of young girls have a crush on, once in their lifetime on a teacher. So
Mm-mm.
yeah, I think I had one. I don't really remember who it was, but I do remember I had one on like a sports teacher.
Diba?
Yes.
Normally in high school, there's there's always a lot of admiration to something like sporty built teachers, right?
Mm,
Hmm.
yes. Right.
What about, have you ever had worn your brother's clothes?
Of course, my big brother knows that I always love his clothes. So, Pierre, if you're watching, I hope you don't miss that because I can't do that anymore. He can't just ship me his clothes. He has really good clothes. It's very sporty, very trendy. So
Mm-mm.
I always used to steal his oversized hoodies, especially in England. It's very, very cold there. So I used to love
Mm-mm.
to do that. Yes.
They are laughing. See,
Yeah,
they
they
could
know. I
relate.
think yeah, he could relate, but I think he misses that. Maybe he misses that or not. I'm not sure.
By the way, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and please just drop your questions down below, and we'll definitely ask it to Gwen. All right, so
Yes,
let's
thank
just
you so much,
continue.
guys, for being here. It means so much to me. So don't be scared to ask questions.
We actually have viewers all the way from Switzerland, and yeah, from
Wow.
Geneva, Switzerland. Yeah, thank you,
Oh,
Vinrog, and we
great.
also have someone from Los Angeles, my suke.
Hello.
Marsha
Shout out to
Uy, thank
whoever's
you
in Los
so much.
Angeles.
Mm-hmm. Marsha Uy. So I always do a shout out for him. And how about, have you ever had fallen in love with your best friend?
No, because when it's a
Never.
best friend, there's limits. Yeah, never. I've had a lot of boy best friends, but I've never fallen in love with them. I've seen them more as like brothers, like I can
Uh,
hang out with. They would always protect me. But I've never had that type of. I didn't see them in that way.
Great. Okay. What about, have you ever sold your pre-loved items?
Yes. I think my mom would know. Mom, if you're watching, I'm very curry pot. So I always sell my old clothes on Carousel. I don't know, Francois, if you know Carousel in the Philippines, the app Carousel.
Yes, we do have that. Hmm.
Yes. So I used to sell things on there. I sold like half of my wardrobe that I didn't use. So I was like really obsessed with it because it was doing very good and I was making profit from it and also, not wasting clothes. I was, refreshing my wardrobe. So I think that's good for me.
Hello
I
to
can
your
assist you.
dad. Hello, Chiri Furnoil. I get sleep with
Daddy
it.
Papa, hello.
Hello, Sir
Bonjour.
Thierry. Hello, Sir Thierry Ferniol. Thank you for watching, sir. Okay, let's continue. Have you ever had eaten a chicken intestine or chicken isaw here in the Philippines? Are you aware of that?
Yes, I am. Of course, I've lived here for 3 years.
Yes.
I've had some friends that always, when I hang out with them, they would
Mm-hmm.
bring me isao, and I tried it around a few times. I think it's okay. It tastes okay.
Did you like it?
It may look weird. It may look intriguing, but I think it's
Uh-huh.
okay. It doesn't taste as bad. It's very unique.
See,
Yes.
I really love that one.
Yes,
What
isao
about?
and balut as
Mhm.
well.
Of course. Who would forget
But I'm
balut?
not, I'm not a big fan though. I don't think I can stand
Mhm.
eating because I feel so sad when I look at the egg. So I don't
Uh-uh.
really have that often. Yeah. Yes.
Especially the chick. Especially the chick, right?
Yes. But Filipino food is amazing. Yes.
Of course. One of a kind. What about,
Exactly.
have you ever had too much fun at a party?
Of course, I used to party a lot, but of
Mhm.
course, there's a limit to everything. I don't know
Mhm.
if you can have too much fun in a party. A party is supposed to be fun, so I don't think there's a
That's
limit to
right.
having fun there. Yeah, with my
That's
friends
right.
especially, I really miss those times. And
Self
with COVID,
control.
Yeah, with COVID, it really helped me to be more precautious, more aware of everything. So what's important
That's
right now
good.
is keeping safe.
And
Yes,
healthy.
yes, very healthy. Yes.
Back in the high school or any time of your school days, have you ever had tried cutting classes?
Actually, no. I enjoyed school quite a lot, high school and primary school, and college and as well as university. So
Mhm.
maybe I was late a few times, but I never missed the whole class. I would always catch up. I was a very good
Wow,
student, but I was good with balancing out, nightlife, going out, and also studying. So that's something I really mastered as well during my school life.
that's nice. That's so cool,
Yes.
and of course, somehow it shows that you're really a good girl, huh?
I can have a crazy side, but like a wild side, going out with my friends, they can see, how hyper I can get. But of course, I'm
Mhm.
very focused on studies because education is, very important. So it's time to
That's right.
focus, when I'm in school. Yes.
That's right. What about have you ever had fallen asleep with your gown and shoes on?
Um, no, I don't think so. I've only worn gown maybe on my debut and during Miss World. So maybe dresses. Maybe yes, when I feel when I go home and I'm a bit lazy and I just don't want to take my makeup off, I just fall asleep.
Uh,
So I think that happens to every girl out there. They get
yeah,
lazy and they just don't want to, undress anything or take off the
that's
makeup.
right. That's
Yes.
right. See, she's really very relatable, right, guys? So,
Very
guys,
honest. Honesty is very important.
that's right. So, hmm, we already have some questions in here on the comment section, Gwen, and
Mm-hmm.
let me just pull up some, or let me just pick some questions in here, right? So, we'll try to answer the questions here. Okay, first off from Vivian Bolivar Toledo. What is your definition of beauty?
Hi, Tita Bayang. So, for me, beauty it depends on someone because everyone perceives beauty in a different way. For me, it's about having a beautiful heart, especially joining in Miss World. It's important to
Mm,
have the right attitude, to have the right mindset, to be kind, to help each other. And being
mm,
beautiful is not just about how you look on the outside, it's about how
mm,
you reflect within. Because what you reflect outside should be the same as what you reflect within. So it's very important to, try and show people how kind you can be, not just from the outside, but from the inside. So, yes, Tita Bayang, thank you for the amazing
that's
question.
right, that's right. Beauty is not all about what we can see externally,
Mhm.
but it should also be, um, it should manifest the inner beauty in us.
Exactly, yes.
Right.
So it's
Okay,
like judging a
so
book by its cover. Yes.
yes, that's right. Let me just try to check on this. Here's a question coming from Mark Shao. I don't know if you want if this could be a good question.
Sure.
What are the
That's okay.
signs of a perfect relationship with a partner?
I think perfect relationship would be to, uh, be very comfortable with them, comfortable with who you are, and not be afraid to hide your real self. Because if that person, really loved you, they would accept all your flaws, all your insecurities. They would accept you, and that's what
Mhm,
really matters. To be honest to them and to show them your real self, and to be confident with who
mhm.
you are. Because when you're with someone you trust, you don't care about looking good all the time. All you care about is
That's
being
right.
with them. Yes, and
That's
spending
right.
time with
That's
them.
right. I couldn't agree more with you, Gwen. And let's also have to keep in mind that there's no such as perfect relationship. It's always
Yeah.
a two way. Yeah, it's always a two way. How shall I call it? It's always a teamwork. So
Mm-hmm.
the relationship could not stand without one who would also work on it. So if I mean if only one is working on it. So
Yeah, it has to be two,
mm,
effort for both of
yeah,
the sides. You have to put effort
yeah, for
into it.
both parties.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Okay, so there you go. Do we still have? Hmm. What about this? Well, it's for vaccine. If you have to choose a
Yes.
vaccine for you, what brand is it?
For me, Cypher is it? I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. Cypher.
Pfizer, yeah.
Yes. Pfizer,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Pfizer. I'm having it this week actually with the Miss World because it's very important to be vaccinated, especially in the
Mm-hmm.
pageant. You know, you're making contact with so many people, and if I ever get the crown, I would have to travel, and being vaccinated is very important for that to risk, to not risk your health and to make sure you're very healthy. And that I really trust the vaccine because it's one of the main in England. So my mom told me a lot about that one.
That's right.
Yes, so that's
That's
why.
right, actually. And if Pfizer is not available, you don't have to wait for the Pfizer anymore to get vaccinated, right?
Yes,
You have to get vaccinated and take the opportunity while it's free, because
yes,
we'll
that's
never
right.
know. We'll never know when it's going to be, to be purchased by us.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Exactly.
And it's also for everyone's safety, and particularly
Hmm.
for yourself, right?
Yes, I
Okay,
agree.
here's another question is coming from Doi Juen. Yes, that's right.
But
What
yes,
obstacle
yes.
you have faced in your platform work?
Platform as in pageant, is that what
The
you mean?
I
Platform
think
work. Mhm.
your work environment.
For me, my work environment, maybe in teaching, obstacles, sometimes it can be very frustrating to teach a lot of people. Sometimes there are
Mhm,
different levels, and you have to be very patient.
mhm,
Especially in pageant, I consider it my work right now because I'm doing my best to promote what is right, what is important in today's society. So
mhm,
the obstacles would be to not take failure as a bad thing.
mhm,
I tend to be perfectionist like my mom, so I think I
mhm,
take that after her. I don't tend to accept failure. I want to do everything to my best. So I think the obstacle is, it's okay not to be perfect, and
That's
I
right.
think I need to not be so hard on myself because some things can be stressing,
Mhm,
especially with the schedule. It's all about
mhm,
balance and consistency. Thank you, Manung Doi, for the
mhm.
question.
Thank you. And obstacles are always part of growing up. Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Responsibility is part of growing up. We all have to go through it.
Yes,
So make sure
that's right.
you're not alone in this. Everyone goes through the same thing.
Oh, Marshall has another question. When is the right time to get married?
I think it really depends on the person. Some people get married at 20, some people get married at 30. So whenever you feel like you're ready to settle, you found the right person, you're financially stable, you want to start a family. I think that's when you're ready to get married. When you really believe that you're following your heart, and you believe that what you're doing is right. So
Mm-mm,
when you're
mm-mm,
settled and comfortable with life, yes, because you might have a career to choose. Not You
mm-mm,
don't really choose between love and career, but things can wait. They all balance out in the end.
mm-mm, mm-mm, that's right.
Yes.
And also, you also have to consider your maturity,
Yes,
because
exactly.
yeah, because it's really necessary that you are matured enough to take responsible, especially having a family of your own,
I agree.
right?
Yes. Right. Yes, that's
One
right.
moment
Having a
here.
family of your own,
Mhm,
to be mature in that sense, everyone matures at a different age. So if you think you're not ready, don't force yourself into it
mhm.
because you cannot rush into love. It just
That's
comes to
right.
you whenever you want. Yes.
Yes, when it's the right time, when the
Yes.
right time comes, rather.
Exactly.
hmm I think you've already answered this. Why did you decide to compete in this pageant? I think during our. Do you want to answer
Yes,
this
the
for Annie?
introduction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could remind her. So witnessing a lot of poverty in my life, growing up in two different cultures, it's really pushed me and strives me to ease these predicaments and
Mm-hmm.
try and help children to be the best of their ability. And I think Miss World stood out from all the pageants for me because
Mm-hmm.
it's a way for me to tell people what's important, which is
Mm-hmm.
education for me, especially as a teacher. I know how education can be so fatal when it's missing for children because they're
That's
not
right.
able to show their full capacity. So it's a
Mm.
perfect platform for that. I can, talk about education and encourage children to really focus on school and to help advocacies as well, bringing street
Yeah.
children back into school.
Yeah, because
Yes.
education is really, well, it may not, it may not apply to everyone, but at least it is already proven that having a
Mhm.
good education can definitely land us to a better opportunities.
Yes, exactly. And
Mhm.
it's a celebration. Pageant is a celebration of
Mhm.
beauty. It's a celebration of women coming together and,
Womanhood. Mhm.
showcasing, what they have, their capabilities, what they can offer to
That's
the
right.
world. Not just their beauty, but their talents, their voices,
Yes.
their message to the world. So that's what
That's
matters
right.
in pageants.
Hmm. To share their platforms, their advocacy, just like what she
Yes.
mentioned. Yeah. Good. So we have a question coming from Juan Manuel Bautista. By the way, it's another Suki. Thank you so much, Juan Manuel, for tuning in once again. And to all our Suki, thank you so much for always tuning in. So, what do you think is the biggest problem facing teens today?
I think in the Philippines, if you specifically say it in the Philippines,
Mm-hmm.
it's maybe with schooling as well because there's a lack of support in school.
Mm-hmm.
I heard a lot of teenagers complaining about it because everything is online. So there's a lot of mental health issues coming into that because not everyone can survive, doing everything online. It can be so
Mm-hmm.
stressful, so, unbearing to do things online and all the homework. I know how stressful that can be for teens, especially children. So maybe mental health is the biggest problem during teens. It can cause a lot of conflict with their minds, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
insecurity. So that's something that's not talked about enough, especially amidst COVID. That will be the biggest
Exactly.
problem.
Exactly. Because, and you mentioned earlier, no, before you speak about mental health as well as one of which you mentioned that it's
Mm-hmm.
also education, which is very
Yeah.
true because here in the Philippines we suddenly shift from or transition from a face-to-face education or yeah
Mm-hmm.
face-to-face classroom to online classroom.
Yes, of course. No one saw it coming really. The COVID,
That's
it
right.
gave us a lot of changes, good and bad. But I think the worst change, like the biggest change, was education from virtual to reality to going online. It's very
That's
different for
right.
teens. Mm-hmm.
That's right. We have another question. We have a question coming from Daniel Bia. This is from our YouTube viewers. Okay. Does Gwendolyn Furnoil have a boyfriend?
No.
So there you go. You heard it, Danielle, all right? So a question from Sheena Herenales. With everything that you have going on, how will you handle the responsibilities of the crown if you are selected?
That's a good question. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of responsibilities will come my way if I get the crown, but I will take that as a blessing. I will take that as a mission to try my best to put what's out there, to put what really matters, which I always insist on, education or the
Mm-hmm.
children. And I would
Mm-hmm.
take that as a gift for me to be able to be the ambassador, the advocate for that. That's like an honor for me to do that. I wouldn't see it as a responsibility or a chore. I would see it as a gift. I
All
would see it
right.
in a positive way. Yes.
See,
Hmm.
crown. That's already for a crown. By the way, guys, let me just remind you that if your questions are in political or in line with political issues, I do apologize that I won't be asking that to Gwen. Okay, so if you really want your questions be asked to her, please avoid asking political questions. All right. Okay, so here we go. We have another question from Jen Bell Sumagaysay. Hello, good evening. How would you say to someone who thinks that pageantry is irrelevant, especially these days,
Yes,
especially during pandemic?
a lot of people think it's irrelevant in pandemic. It's not something that should be prioritized. But I think during
Hmm.
this time, it's the most important thing because it's many girls have platform to show on things
Hmm.
that matters and that are relevant in today's society, especially during COVID. Mental health, that's a very big factor. So people that see beauty pageant as just being beautiful, having lavish outfits, I think you need to look within that. You need to look
That's
at
right.
the effort that the girls are putting out there, the message they're trying to send, or for
Mm-hmm.
me, education, for others, mental health. It's all things that have been worsened due to COVID.
Hmm.
So, in a way, pageant really strengthen women to come together, empower
Hmm.
each other, and really make it relevant and put out their message out there to platforms, to the world, to especially in this world, it's all about advocacy, about doing what's right and standing up for yourself. So yes.
Hmm. Yeah, I could definitely agree with you, Gwen, that all the more that pageantry is very much relevant these days because, especially during pandemic, because
Mm-hmm.
you are giving your platforms. You're speaking about your advocacy, and definitely
Yeah.
advocacy during platforms are very helpful, right?
Mm-hmm. Very
Mm-hmm.
helpful. Yeah, they can, some advocacies are never talked about. Mental health is not
Mm-hmm.
talked about as much in
Mm-hmm.
Philippines or
That's
during
right.
pregnancy. So
That's
I
right.
think these are very important subjects that are made
Mm-hmm.
relevant, especially during COVID.
Correct. Mm-hmm. And we have another Suki here, Laura Marquis. So, would you rather be the one who hides the truth or one who tells a lie?
I think hide the truth because people who would really know me would know, if I'm being truthful. And to tell a lie is, I think, not as good as, hiding the truth. In a way, you could try and show the truth, not by saying it, but maybe by acting it. So I think
Mm-mm.
that's a good question. Mm-hmm.
Manifestation, manifest the
Yeah.
the truth in you without telling a
Yes.
lie.
Yes.
Whatever
Mm-hmm.
lie would that be? It could be white lie or not, or right? It's
Yeah,
still
I
a
think it
lie.
depends on the
Yeah.
situation. All lie are bad, but some are
Hmm.
worse than others. But I think hiding the truth is better because you wouldn't have to lie about to other people. Trying to
That's
hide
right.
something from them. Yeah.
That's
Mm-hmm.
right. That's right. Okay, so what makes you stand out from the other contestants according to Prince Andrew Generales?
For me, I witnessed a lot of things during my life. I was very grateful, very I
Mm-hmm.
stood out as a child. I didn't know where I fit, and in a way, I think it's relevant for today because I've witnessed so much cultures, diversity, as well as
Mm-hmm.
poverty, and it makes me really reflect on what I want to do in life. What is my
Mm-hmm.
mission in life? What is my goal? And that is Miss World. It's to use my platform to help these beautiful souls, to help children, to help them get into education, and to help them build a beautiful world for them to live in.
Yeah. Oh, we have someone from Taytay. Hello, Jan Nordaps. Hello, thank you for watching,
Hello.
Jan.
Nagtinda ng burger. Yes. Okay, I remember you. Wow. How did you find me?
Yes,
Are you
thank you
still
so much.
cooking? Yes, thank you.
All right. Oh, wala na raw siya sa Taytay. Nasa Marikina na siya. Okay. Hopefully,
Okay.
we
Hope
get
you're
to
safe.
see, we get to meet, huh?
Of
Okay, another
course.
question coming from Maki Santos. What's one thing you wish you could do for the rest of your life?
It's to educate, really. It's
Mm-mm.
to give knowledge to others because ever since I was young, I had teachers
Mm-mm.
teaching me, and I think I want to continue that legacy by educating others on very important
Mm-mm.
factors in life. And in Philippines, there's so much progress to be made. I experienced
That's right.
life in France, so I want to apply those kind of things into the Philippines to make this world a better place.
That's
Love
right.
you,
That's right.
Bam. Je t'aime, maman.
Okay. Oh, is she your mom? Yes.
Yes,
Hello,
Symphornia.
ma'am. Sim Furnoil.
I can't see, she's messaging me, but I cannot see her messages because I'm on
Mm-mm.
mute on my messenger in case someone calls me.
All right. Um, Gwen, we have some social issues in here that I have prepared. So
Yes.
let's talk about poverty. What do you think is the root cause of poverty in the Philippines?
The root cause of poverty is, of course, lack of education, lack of awareness, lack of discipline. If
Mm,
a big issue right now as well is farming, because of lack of education, farmers are very underpaid. There's a lot of poverty because of the wage here. Um, and the government, I think, should try and come together and try and encourage children to really go to school, because how can
mm-mm,
you imagine these poor children are begging on the streets when they should be
mm.
studying, they should be living their childhood, they should be exploring their knowledge, not
That's right.
being on the streets begging, begging for food on an empty stomach. I think that's it, lack of education. Education is so important, and I learned that from Father Tritz, who is the founder of Erda, my advocacy. He's someone I really look up
Oh,
to. Yeah, he's a Frenchman, so I really relate to him. He devoted his whole life to the Philippines, which I think is
oh.
amazing. Yes.
So you have spoken that you have just mentioned that education. I mean, the poverty is basically. Well, I mean, education could actually one of the causes of poverty. So
Mm-hmm.
um, this goes to show that poverty therefore is one of the root cause of illiteracy. So what's your stand on this, Gwen?
Illiteracy, of course, not everyone has the chance to have education, which is the problem in the Philippines, because compared to a poor child and a rich child, of course, the rich child will be able to go to school. I think education should not be something that should be paid for. It should be free. It should be
It should be.
accessible to everyone. And there's
That's
so
right.
much illiteracy in the Philippines. People
Mm-mm.
are not progressing in life because of lack of education. And also in the Philippines, when you want to do a subject like art, music, they may look to you in a bad way because it's not being a doctor. But if it's
That's
what
right.
makes you happy, I think that's what matters, because in life it's to be happy. We should teach children more subjects, sports, drama, theater. And that really helped me in England because we had so many subjects like cooking, theater, singing, and it helped us explore our talents. And I think in the
Mm-mm.
Philippines that's lacking here. So it caused illiteracy for
Yeah.
many people because they focus, on the main subjects when there is so much
Mm.
more to that. There's a whole world out there.
Yeah, actually, that's correct. Those
Mhm.
basic or practical courses that offered are definitely very helpful because even though you won't be able to finish your higher education, definitely that practical education that you already have learned could definitely help you to
Mm-hmm.
pursue something, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And in
And
the Philippines,
could
I
learn from
think,
it. Yeah.
yeah, I see many students. They quit high school, they quit college because they think that working a part time job will help their family more. They're
That's right.
focusing on other responsibilities, which they should not be doing. They should put their
Mhm.
main focus on what's important for their future. And
That's right.
whatever that subject may be, all subjects are equal. As long as you're
Mhm.
happy, as long as you're interested into it, you don't have to follow anyone's expectation. Hi
That's correct.
Daria, miss you. My
Mhm.
best friend from England is watching. Hello Daria.
Hi. Hello, Naria.
Hello.
Mm.
I think it's morning
There
there. It's
you
evening
go.
here.
Yes, that's right. Okay. I think it's already around noon time in England.
Yes,
Hmm.
that's right. Yes.
Okay. So I I heard you talking about teenage pregnancy here in the Philippines a while ago, or premarital, something like that. Teenage pregnancy, right?
Teenage pregnancy in the Philippines
Yeah.
is higher than other countries
Hmm.
because there's a lack of awareness into
Mm-hmm.
protection, how to protect yourself. There's not a lot of lessons in school about,
Mm-mm.
teaching yourself the responsibilities of having a family. So I think
Mm-mm.
the lack of discipline, the lack of awareness into that, contributes to a high amount of teen pregnancies in the Philippines,
Yes.
especially with poverty that adds to it. If you can't afford to
Mm-mm.
have a child, you'll be even more, into poverty. So you should really
That's
be
right.
wise and think about it first. So it's something that we should implement in schools,
That's right.
especially about, teen
However, my
pregnancy.
question about teenage pregnancy, Gwen, is that is teenage pregnancy is a norm or antithesis?
I think it depends. I wouldn't shame anyone that was a teen and pregnant. I think everyone has different ways of thinking. Some people are ready to be mothers at a young age. Some people are ready to be mothers at an older age. But I see it in a way as children that are unwanted, orphans.
Mm-mm.
I think that's a really big issue. If you're a teen and you had a child, you can't support it, then that child
That's
will
right.
be brought back into the system, into poverty, and they'll be
Mm-hmm.
marginalized. So
That's
you need
right.
to think about not just what's best for you, but what's best for that child in the future. Because all of that comes together, it all adds up. So I wouldn't say it's the norm. I wouldn't want to say teen pregnancy is normal because I think it's not normal. I think we should be more aware of what we're doing, of the
That's right.
news and everything. Yes.
That's right. Accountability and responsibility. I think one thing that could actually we have to mention as well is the education from home as well. That supposedly parents could
Mm-hmm.
also teach or somehow educate their teenagers, their children, or their the adolescents on this kind of situation, especially on
Mm-hmm.
teenage pregnancy issues or premarital sex, right?
Mm-hmm. But I think
Mm-hmm.
also it depends as well because those parents could have been brought up in a
Mm-hmm.
poor environment as well. Maybe they were never taught how to do that. So they were never, they never think about teaching it to their children because it's a habit. A habit is passed on to generations. So we
Mm-hmm.
should make it a habit to make our children aware of that because children are the future and you need to think about what kind of world you want them to live in. Is it
Mm-hmm.
a world full of children with no parents living in the streets, or is it a world where everyone has access to education, everyone can live freely and pick whatever subject and not have to worry about going to school with an empty stomach? So we need to really think about those kind of things.
Mm. And there's a follow-up question or somehow related question according related to this. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
there are countries and states recently passed the heartbeat law criminalizing abortion. Should other states or other countries for that matter follow suit?
Abortion is a very good topic. I think as a
Mhm.
woman,
That's right.
every woman has a right to choose and make the decision. Many people think, maybe many people believe that the fetus, is still alive, but it's not fair for a woman to experience it if she doesn't want to. She should have the right and decision to choose for her future because that is her future. But
Mhm.
it's a very difficult decision for a woman to put
Mhm.
herself first in that decision. So I think it depends on, it can be on religion. There can be a lot of conflict, but I
Mhm.
think abortion should be on the woman because it's a woman's choice. It's not going to be the man who's going to take care of the child. It's the woman who has to bear all the responsibilities of it. So
For nine
yes.
months.
So I think what we
Yeah.
should be encouraging is mostly on protection, birth control pills, instead of thinking already about abortion. I think we should try and
Mm-mm.
more discipline our children into that so there will be less of these kind of, happenings on abortion.
So
Yes.
this boils down again to education.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
everything,
to
I think
sex
everything
education.
connects to education. Yes.
Yeah, this boils down again to to sex education because definitely, if we have a better education for something like this, definitely this
Mm-hmm.
could be avoided. This could be
Yes,
prevented because,
exactly.
yeah, especially in the Philippines, that we are a very conservative country. So abortion in the Philippines is not really. acceptable. So
Yeah.
we do not have laws for that legalizing abortion, and
Mm-hmm.
and of course that yeah, I mean that are giving opportunities for ladies or for women an option to do so or not.
Yes.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
So
But I grew
yeah,
up,
this
yeah,
is
like
due
that.
to
Mm-hmm.
yeah, this is due to its culture and tradition as very conservative.
Yes.
So we cannot definitely apply one law from one state to another or one country to
Mm-hmm.
another. So that all depends on the norm on that particular country as well.
Yes. Exactly. Yes. Mm-hmm. So I agree with that. I think growing up in a
Mhm,
foreign country, it opened
mhm,
my eyes to how conservative a country is. Their
mhm,
rules, the norms there, the traditions.
mhm.
So I think that abortion is a very taboo subject in the Philippines. There's still a
It
lot
is.
of progress to be made, and I
Mhm,
think we should focus on other things like discipline, especially on teen pregnancies. So it wouldn't lead us
mhm.
to having to know about abortion. So yes,
That's right.
because there's a step to everything. If you stop the first step, you wouldn't think about the last
Mm-mm.
scenario. So I think it's very important to stop that at first. Yes, to discipline.
Exactly. So, hello everyone. Hello, Ma'am
Hello,
Cecile Bolivar, all the way from
annyeong,
United
hello,
Kingdom, and hello, Mappy Generalis Reyes, Annyeong from
annyeong.
South Africa.
I think I'm
All
happy.
right. And of course, we have Gerald Rovilob Dueñas. Good eve watching from Kubay. Is that Kubay or Cubao?
Cubao, I don't know. Is it Gerald? What is it? Kubai.
Ku- Kubay? Cuba? Where is that? What is it? I'm
Wherever you
sorry.
are, I hope you're safe.
Miss Doy
Jonas.
Duane, yes. Yeah, hello, good evening. All the way from Cebu. And as Miss World's famous slogan is beauty with a purpose, Gwen. As an
Mhm.
individual and independent woman, what is your ultimate purpose in life?
My ultimate purpose in life is
Mm-mm,
to give back what's been given to me. I was, privileged growing up. I was very lucky to have an education, to not have to worry about going to school, to pay for my transport. So I want to give that back to the children and not make them worry about anything. I want to give them the opportunity to realize their dream. And that's my
mm.
purpose, that's my mission, and it's my dream to fulfill that. So through this
Wow.
Miss World or not through Miss World, I will still do the same thing. It's still my
Giving
mission to
back.
do so.
Mm-hmm,
Yes, to give back, not just to receive. It's very important to give and
mm-mm.
you know to make this world a better place. Yes.
All right. So I think we still have another question in here. Let me just try to take a look on this. Okay, there you go. So, do we still have more questions? I think. Beauty with a purpose. Okay, you've already mentioned. Let's talk about your advocacy. So you already
Mm-hmm.
mentioned that your advocacy is more on education. So we've
Yeah.
already been talking about education and all, and then you've been working with ERDA. Is that so?
Yes, Urda. Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us more about this institution that you're working with?
Yes, of course. So it was founded around 40 years ago,
Mm-hmm,
and I knew the founder, Father Tritz. He's very close to my family, to my father and my mother. And my mom grew up in poverty. So I really learned a lot from her. She told me her whole story, how Father Tritz, the founder of Erda, really saved her from poverty. He gave her a purpose, he believed in her. And that's really what I want to do. I want to follow in his footsteps, to give back, and to be able to give the opportunity like he did with my mother to other children, because look, I wouldn't be here without him. So maybe he can make
mm-hmm,
more, he can help more amazing people to realize their dreams, to really be happy, and to try and be the best version of themselves, and to try and succeed in life. So
Mm-hmm.
education is very important. He would always say that to me. He would always tell everyone how important it is, that money doesn't matter. It's all about knowledge, because knowledge cannot be bought. It can just, can only be
Mm-hmm.
earned. It can only be like respect. It's also earned.
Mm. So ERDA is more of education institution. Is that so? If I understood you correctly.
Yes, they have many offices. But in Manila, I visited the one in Manila many times. I've been, I've been in the community pantry. I've been giving food, and I see all these children. In their eyes, they have so much hope. They have so much hope for the world,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like the world is not giving them a purpose. So I want to do that for them. I want to be able to achieve that. I've seen, the Smoky Mountains. I'm not sure if you heard about that in
Yes, of
Tondo,
course. In
Manila.
Tondo, Manila.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
that's where Father Chits really focus, because children
Mm-hmm.
used to pick litter from there and sell them. So imagine a child, instead of going to school, they would spend their whole day picking the litter and just selling them so they can have a bit of food. And even that wasn't enough.
Mm-hmm.
So Father Chits really tried to push them. He would encourage them to have a job, maybe like make T-shirts, so they can earn.
Uh-uh.
So it's not something that
Mm-hmm.
is given; it's something you have to earn. That's very
Yes.
important. Not to just
Yes.
give a child anything, because they can be spoiled. So you have to teach them. You have to teach them it in a respectful way, so they can be disciplined and responsible in life.
That's right. That's right. For them as well to value what they have earned.
Yes, so
Mm-hmm.
really value it. We should be really grateful we have a shelter over our head. Some people,
Mm-hmm.
they don't even have food in their stomach. So I'm really grateful to that, and I want everyone to be in the same situation, to
Mm-hmm.
not have to worry about food again, especially children, street children.
Oh my god, this is really very insisting question. Keeps on. Let me just interrupt that. So, what is your opinion about pandemic right now?
I don't have an opinion on the pandemic. I think if you think about the way we're handling it, I think we're making progress, and progress is very good. As
Mm-hmm.
long as we follow the precautions. There's been a lot
Yeah.
of bad news, about the president, the territory not, not handling it right. But it's a lot of responsibility. As long as we work together to fix
Mm-hmm.
this issue, to beat this virus and pandemic, it's
Mm-hmm.
very important to do so. We can only do so by working as, a community, not by
That's
ourselves.
right.
And there's a lot of issues with it. Mental health has been, really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Not isolating yourself from people. So a lot
Mm-hmm.
of cyberbullying has happened, because most of the things are online now. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of cyberbullying, harassment online. So a lot of things have happened in the pandemic, but I think it's a lesson for us to move forward and be ready for what is coming in the future, because you never expect the unexpected. That's all I can
Mm-hmm.
say, because tomorrow you never know what could happen.
That's right.
Yes.
There's another question from the viewers from Nad Rivero. What is the greatest contribution of a Filipina can offer to the world?
A Filipina. Her smile, I think. Putting
Mm-hmm.
her smile on her face is very important. To others, someone's having a bad day, and then you just put a smile on your face. It can
Mm-hmm.
brighten up their day. So that's a gift. It's something so simple. Simple gesture is very important to radiate someone's day, to be the twinkling star in someone's day.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on, Gwen. So this is the game that I've mentioned to you earlier. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
I'll be asking you to just oh, one moment. I'll be asking you to just to just choose at least three boxes out of the six boxes that I have here that I have prepared. Okay, so it's what we call pick a box. So there are six boxes in here, and then you just have to choose three one at a time. So it could also be something to talk about, or it could also be just like simple or modified fast talk. I believe you are familiar with fast talk.
Yes, I am. We have to do it. It's one of our fast track challenges, so I'm very ready for that.
All right, perfect. So here we go. Oops. We have six numbers in here. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
six boxes, six mystery boxes. So, which one would you like to pick first?
Let's start with number one.
Number one, same-sex marriage.
Okay. Yes. Okay. That's a good topic.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. So I would talk about it. I just talk about it. Or is there a question?
Yeah, you can just make a comment.
Okay, so I think same-sex marriage, it may not be illegal in the Philippines. I know in England it's legal, and I
Hmm.
think it's an amazing thing that people are not afraid to love. You should not be afraid to love whoever you want. It doesn't matter, on their sex, on their gender, on
Hmm.
how they look. We should all be able to love freely. We should not live to others' expectation on who you love, because love is such an amazing thing to give. And if you have the
Hmm.
possibility to love, someone you fall in love with is the same sex, I think it doesn't matter at all as long as the
Hmm.
person is happy. So
Love
same
has
sex
no
marriage, I think, should
gender.
be, yeah, everyone should have the right to be able to marry who they want. It's your
That's
life,
right.
it's your decisions. We have human rights. So I
That's
think
right.
it should be allowed everywhere, yes.
All right, but not yet here in the Philippines because Philippines is a very conservative country once again. So
Yes.
yeah, we'll
Yes, but I think
definitely.
they're progressing. I think in the future it could
Mhm.
happen. It's all about how
Yes,
we look at it. We should look at it in a positive way.
that's right. Okay, so let's move on to the next box.
Let's do number four.
Number four.
Yes.
Traditional books or textbooks or ebooks?
Hmm. It depends on where you are. I would say traditional books are always the best because you
Mm-hmm,
can
that's right.
absorb so much from it. Ebooks can be a bit modified and it can be a bit harmful for the eyes. But
Mm-hmm,
traditional is really where all the knowledge comes. Going into a
mm-hmm.
library, go
That's
I
right.
never get tired of going to the library. It's so quiet, so much
Mm-hmm.
knowledge you can absorb and generate into your mind. So I would always pick traditional book as more
Mm-hmm.
important. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Likewise, and I love the scent of the traditional books as
Yes,
well.
me too. It's a different feeling opening up a freshly book, a freshly
That's
new book.
right.
It's amazing.
That's
Yes.
right. And you can make comments on it, right?
Mhm, exactly. You can write on it with your pen. You can doodle. You can do whatever you
That's
want on
right.
it.
And for our last pick,
Let's go with number five.
number five, annulment or divorce.
Okay. Oh, that's a tough one, especially in the Philippines.
That's right.
I think there's so much issue with divorce, especially in the Philippines. I'm not um quite sure about the rate in divorce in the Philippines. Well, it's not a big thing to talk about here. It's not
Mm-hmm.
something you talk about in divorce.
Mm-hmm.
But with women's right, I think we have more right nowadays to be stable, to go our own path. So if you're a woman and you feel like you want to, I think divorce is better if you think that it cannot be fixed. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, so
Uh-huh.
because I grew up in two different cultures, so the laws are very different.
Uh-huh.
But divorce is very common in England because women are not afraid to stand up for themselves, or men, to walk out of a relationship if you're unhappy, because you should always love yourself first and put yourself first. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you want me to explain once again, Laura? Okay. Actually, there's a big difference between annulment and divorce, especially when we
Mhm.
try to look at the definition of each. Okay,
Yes.
so yeah, when we speak of divorce, that's just basically dissolution of marriage, wherein
Mhm.
in the process of dissolution, the marriage is not definitely removed. So it's still there. It's just like in the
Mhm.
concept of legal separation. So they
Mhm.
were legally married, and they were legally separated, but then they are still binded by the marriage because
Mhm.
they cannot remarried, right? However, in
Yeah.
divorce, the additional somehow the additional ingredient in divorce is that you can remarry after divorce. However, um, in annulment, I'm just trying to simplify it, Laura. So, in annulment, um, based from its definition, it's nullify. It's nullify marry. nullify marriage, nullification of marriage. So therefore, when we speak of nullification of marriage, it invalidates marriage. So
Mm-hmm.
that means that from the very beginning, there was no marriage happening due to some factors as well. That's it.
That's
So that is
good job
wherein
explaining
Philippines,
it.
wherein the Philippines has this annulment. So if you really wanted to get your marriage annulled or
Mhm.
get out of marriage, then annulment is the best. Then of divorce, because
Yes.
in morality side as well, they look divorce, or well, I would consider myself, um, divorce is seen as leading to what we call this polygamy, because there was marriage, there is still marriage while remarrying, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the concept of polygamy. It doesn't mean that you are only uh, how shall I say it? You are having partners at the same time. It's not only that what it means, but even though you are remarrying, wherein the marriage was not really nullified or invalidated, that's already polygamy.
Yes.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so there you are. You're almost done. Okay, so I think we're done for the game, and hmm, so I hope that you enjoyed the game, Gwen. If you have any
Yes, of
message,
course.
yeah, if you have any message, would you want to take this opportunity now to address your message and to promote as well your projects and your social media
Mhm.
platforms? Mhm.
Yes, of course. So I really want to thank all my family, my supporters who are here right now watching me from all over the world, especially my brothers, and which I'm really close to, and my mother and
Mhm.
father for being so supportive. I want to thank you, Himamaylan City, and everyone from Himamaylan City for really believing me, supporting me, being by my side, and really standing for what's right because we're all in this together. And
Yeah,
everyone out there who's battling any problems, just know that you're not alone. You're all beautiful. You're all capable of so much. And I would just want to thank you because competing in this Miss World is something is it's a dream for me. It's not just for myself, it's for all of you. It's for all of you to come hand in hand together and really help another because one act of kindness means so much to someone. So you're all beautiful in your own way and try and give a smile to whoever. I also want to thank Benj for really supporting us on our journey and for being so kind as well, accommodating us. For Red Hotel as well, for always giving us, the everything we need. Also Tevian for being amazing with us for the makeup. And if you would like to help support the Filipino youth, you can purchase a bundle from Tevian on their website, and you can use my code as well. So some a part of the profit will go to children to helping them go to school. So that's something that's very close to my heart, which I'm really happy they chose, that kind of charity to go to. And I did
that's
talk to
right.
them about it. So I hope that we'll really do something, a big change.
So
And
it's
yes,
for
I want to thank
education. Yeah.
everyone, especially my province. Yes. And basta negrosanon guapahon. That's what I want to
Wow.
say.
Absolutely, absolutely. So
Yes.
thank you so much once again. Thank you so much once
Mhm.
again for tuning in, guys, and of
Yes, of
course
course. Thank
to
you.
all our viewers. Thank you so much. It's all over the world. Wow,
Mhm.
nakakataba ng puso. And Gwen, thank you so much as well for
Yes.
accepting our
Thank you so much, Paswa.
invitation.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And I
And
want to also thank my team as well, my team
mhm,
behind all of this, because without them,
yeah,
I wouldn't, be able to balance myself in this pageant. It takes a lot of people's work. And
uh-huh.
also, yeah. So if you would like to keep up with what we're doing with my
Mhm.
advocacy, you can follow me on Facebook, Gwendolyn Furnoil, or IG, Gwen Furnoil. So you can always
Wow.
keep yourself updated. If you need
Mhm.
any help, just chat me. I'm just one chat away. I will always reply, even if it's a bit late. I may be busy sometimes. But you can always message me if you have any problem.
That's understood.
Yes.
All
Thank you
right.
so
So,
much,
um,
Francois, for having me today. I'm really happy to be here today.
Well, thank you so much, and I'm really very grateful to have you and very honored. Thank you so much to Miss World Organization for allowing us to have these live sessions, and of course, especially to Sir Arnold Vigafria and Sir Arnold Mercado. Mamaru, thank you so
Yes,
much
thank you
for
so much, Mama Ru. You're the
facilitating
best.
this. Okay.
Thank
However, Gwen, our show or our session does not end there because we also have some people who wants to express their um, words of encouragement or would like to encourage you as well in this journey of yours. All right? Are you
Yes,
ready?
of course.
So
Yes,
here
I'm
we go.
ready.
Hi Gwen, congrats on making it to Miss World and always remember that we're here to support you and we will always be proud of you.
Hi Gwen! On behalf of our family, we would like to congratulate you in advance for being part of Miss World. Gusto lang namin sabihin sa'yo na good luck on your journey on Miss World. We support and love you. May you bring home the crown.
For
Thank
Gwen,
you
as a
so much,
hardworking,
Mom.
independent, and strong woman, you sacrifice everything, you travel across the world just to pursue your dreams. You may experience cuts, frustrations, and failures, but those cuts mold you to become a precious gem that you are right now. I'm so proud to call you my cousin, and whatever it takes, the road may be winding for Miss World, but bear this in your mind that we are always here, supporting and love you.
Wow,
Fighting!
thank you, Cousin.
Hi Gwen, good luck on your journey for Miss World. I just know you're going to be amazing, and I'm so proud of you for making your dream come true from half the way across the world. And whatever happens, you're already a winner to us, and you've worked really hard to get to this point. So I want you to know that I'm really proud of you, and you're gonna smash it.
Go.
Love you out there.
Yeah, I love you too,
Hi sis,
Yan.
just say good luck on your journey and we're all really proud of you and you should be proud of yourself. You've already done a lot and yeah, just keep working hard and don't ever change. Don't let anything or anyone change you, just be yourself. Let that good personality of yours shine through and you'll be fine. Yeah, miss you a lot, love you and hope to see you soon. Good luck Gwen.
Good luck.
Miss you too, brothers. Wow, thank you so much, Pospa, for having this video for me. Well, it really brought me, to tears and made me smile because the support is overwhelming, and that's what really matters as well in pageant. It's about support and not thinking of about negative things.
That's
So
right.
thank you so
Mhm.
much.
My pleasure,
Yeah.
Gwen, and I'm really, really grateful. Just like what I have told you, that you have accepted this invitation and you have um, spared time for us, though you still have something to
Mhm.
do later on. Okay, and thank you as
Yeah,
well to
I have
your
another session, but it's
family.
okay.
Thank you as well to your family and to your relatives as well, to your supporters for helping me out to come up with this video. And yeah,
Yeah,
so
thank you
once
so
again, thank
much.
you so much, guys. Thank you to all our viewers for tonight. We hope to have you once again tomorrow night for another Miss World Philippines candidate. So thank you and God bless you all. Good night.
Thank you,
Bye
guys. Good night.
bye.